Hello and welcome to the Small World Podcast, a podcast where you are the topic of discussion. I'm your host, Chris Long.
I'm Austin Newborn.
And I'm Nate Pearson.
And with us today we have...
Candace, Blake.
Candace, everybody! So Candace,
What's
good
up?
to have you on the pod.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
First female guest that we've had.
Yes. Power.
We're inclusive here at the Small World Podcast.
Try to be.
I'm proud of you guys.
So to kick things off, there is a very glaring thing that is different about you than most people.
You know, some would call it glowing, not glaring.
Tomato. But you are harboring an alien, right?
I am. Yes, it is inside me, feeding off of me for 9 months.
Candace is pregnant, everybody.
Woo!
This is true. Now I'm already
If
blanking.
you didn't know.
You're blanking?
I blanked because I had a comment about pregnancy and I was like, just blanked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about the experience? Because that's not something that any of us can possibly experience.
Well, yep. So there's a child in me. It's a female.
What's her name?
Her name is Gracelyn.
Aw.
Yes, I'm very excited. She comes next month.
All right.
So some
Almost
people,
there.
yes, counting down the days. It's like 33.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
To the button.
yeah, I'm pretty
Is that
excited.
okay? Good. You said excited. I was like, are you more towards the side of terrified or excited? And I was like,
I'm definitely, I know, like, I'm scared, but I think I'm more excited than I am scared, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got a good activity for you two, real quick.
Okay.
Although neither of you are married, I want you to come up with 3 potential baby names right now.
Wow, this was not in the show notes.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, 3 that you would be okay with naming your
It would
child.
be okay.
Do I have to do like male and female? Or
Just it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Oh, dang it. I'm in a relationship, though, and she listens to this.
I'm not.
She's going to immediately be like,
She's like,
no.
She's like, well, there goes that idea.
All right, Austin, time to put you on the spot.
Man.
Dead
Just
air.
dead air.
We
It's so
love to
hard.
hear
That's
it.
hard. Because I don't know names.
All right, I got you.
Okay, you first.
Richard.
Ew.
Richard,
That's such
There's
a
a
Chris
joke
thing.
behind it,
I'm
but we're not gonna
afraid
go
of the
into it.
joke behind it.
I already know the joke
I
behind it.
feel like I can put pieces together.
I already know the joke. Okay, Richard.
Yep, number 2,
Yeah.
Daniel. Daniel's a good name.
Okay.
It's his middle name.
It's my middle name.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, I like
So
the name
egotistical.
Daniel. That's not egotistical. I just like the name Daniel.
I mean, I'm named after my dad, so I guess he's egotistical too.
Yeah, come on, Dad.
I mean, my daughter's going to have the same middle name as me. So.
Oh, wow.
See, what's the
So we're
problem?
all
But,
egotistical.
I mean, that's
maniacs.
We're
pretty...
know
all
your middle
bad
name was
people.
Graceland?
No, the same middle name as me. So my middle name's May, and her middle name's gonna be May.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's
makes more
Gracelyn
sense.
May.
Wow.
Sweet
So
little southern
May's a
girl.
solid middle
Yeah.
name, though.
Or if like you knew my nickname, it's Candy May.
Candy May.
Yeah, that's what my dad would call me
So
growing
Candace
up.
May.
Yes,
There you
yes.
go.
Candace
I
May
would feel
what?
more comfortable if you called me that.
I got that.
Knee slapper.
They didn't even hear it.
Oh, I'm ignoring the other side of the room.
What
I'm
happened
sorry.
over
I said
worry
Candace
about
May what?
She gonna...
It was a knee slapper joke.
Candace
it
May.
was.
Candace might.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. That just
Yeah, I had to
that went over the
elaborate
head.
it for
Sorry.
Candace.
Sorry
But
about
anyway, I gave you enough filler time, Austin. What's your name?
He hasn't thought about it in a
I have.
second.
I don't know. I think of hipster names. Like, this is weird names.
Like what?
I don't
We're not going to judge you.
like...
No, we are.
I
But
mean-
like what?
I was just trying to get him to talk.
Like, I like some of the weird Bible names. Like, Hezekiah is a cool name.
Look, to be honest, before you even said Hezekiah, in my head I was like, he's going to say Hezekiah. I don't know how I knew that.
Not Hezekiah Newborn.
Malachi is a cool name.
That's kind of
Malachi
nice,
is a
though,
cool
Hezekiah.
And then... What is it? I'm not going to say Dorcas. That's terrible. I have met people who named their daughter Dorcas.
That's not real.
Newborn.
I
That
have
can't
met
be.
him. Yeah.
Sounds like a Harry Potter character.
But
Dorcas.
I can't think of a girl name right now.
So he's not having a
Maybe
girl.
like Summer or something. Summer sounds cool. That's like a flower child name, but
All I'm going to say is if you name your son Hezekiah, he has to be good at basketball because then he can be Hezzy Newborn. And it's kind of fire.
He either has to be a basketball player or he has to be Amish. No in between.
Yeah. Or an Amish basketball player.
Hey, yo. Imagine.
No, I had a friend
Dribble down the lane, Hezekiah.
Yeah.
Was he Amish?
Yeah. No.
Did he have a
He
beard?
was a nice guy. Went into the army.
We just lost our
Good guy.
Amish audience.
How are they listening to this?
Wait
They
a
have a
minute.
vinyl
Wait
tape.
a minute.
A vinyl tape. A vinyl record that just has the podcast on it.
Their hand drinking it. I mean,
Oh, man.
But
Amish.
fun fact, my name is actually in the Bible.
Candace?
Yes.
It is.
Really?
Yes, Queen Candace, Ethiopian queen.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Acts chapter 8.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shout out Ethiopia.
Shout out to
Ethiopian
Ethiopia?
queens.
Question mark.
Ethiopia.
So, to get back on track, since Austin wants to deflect the question,
I answered. I got
you
two.
answered
He did
2 of
pretty
3.
good.
I said summer.
He said summer.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, it.
that's a cop
Autumn's a
out.
cool
Yeah.
name
Okay,
Okay,
you like
so
the
he.
season.
too. River. That's a cool name.
You just
Sorry.
like nature.
Yes.
I have a boy named Mountain.
Yes, sir.
What's the weirdest name you've like?
The weirdest
heard.
name I've ever heard.
The weirdest name of like someone I know?
Yeah.
Or, ooh, that's a
Or
good
that
question.
you've heard?
Chris.
I stay getting disrespected on this podcast.
On my behalf, I live in the South, so everyone has really basic names in
We all
most of my
do.
circle. So
Yeah.
yeah, we all do, but maybe some of us have lived outside. Is what I'm saying. Like,
I don't think any. Well, you've lived in West Virginia, Austin. That's about as far north as this room
I've lived in
goes.
Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Yeah. Pittsburgh.
he's the Amish.
I am the Amish.
he made it out.
I left. The
Escaping
beard.
I was about to say he is the one with the beard.
I do have a beard.
You do have a beard.
And I'm blonde.
Mmm.
So that kind of.
Seeming real Amish over here.
That's why he likes that name.
But, weirdest name of someone I know. I can't think of any, like, off-the-wall names off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That's not, like... Do you have one that sticks out to you immediately?
No.
You
Hezekiah.
posed the question.
Yeah, I was asking you guys.
Okay, fair enough.
Even though we're supposed to be interviewing her.
Right. She's like, no. It's my podcast.
Taking over. Join me. No.
But what I was about to ask was, what has been your favorite and least favorite part of pregnancy so far?
We'll start with least favorite because
Okay,
that's
yeah.
probably, get
End
the
on the high
worst
note.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll make it good. Least favorite is, I would say, there's a couple of things. Can I do a couple, or do I have to only
go
do
No, it
one?
doesn't have to be
Okay,
just one.
so
We got
the
40
first thing
minutes.
the first thing I can think of is people asking questions. Like everyone, like, oh, and the main question I get is like, hey, how are you feeling? And every time, like now, I just answer, I'm pregnant. Like, what do you think? What do you
Yeah.
think I'm feeling? I'm nauseous 1 minute. I'm hormonal. I can't bend over anymore. Like, shoes are not easy to put on your feet when you have a big belly.
All slip
That's
ons.
really, yeah. It's just things, and swelling has started, so that's not fun. But yeah, I would say favorite thing is probably how nice people are to you when you're pregnant. They're like, oh yeah, oh you look so beautiful. Even if you don't, even if you know you look like
Straight up
trash and you have
lies.
no
Oh,
makeup
wow.
on, you've got leggings on, just trying to be comfortable in a bun up, and you're just like, yeah, thanks, I'll take it. Yeah, sounds
Take what you
good.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
we've
like
been
the
nice
comments.
to you at our Bible study group. For those of you that don't know, Candace is the youth leader. Is that still his title?
His
Associate
title
pastor,
has
right?
switched to associate
Okay.
pastor
Sorry,
recently.
he is-
Upgrade.
Yeah.
Candace is the
Family.
associate pastor's wife
Family
of
pastor.
our church. And so our Bible study is held at their house.
Yes.
So it's a small world in the
That's
sense
great.
that all of our guests so far have been connected to this one Bible study.
Yeah.
And now all the hosts, now that Nate started coming.
We're all going.
Look at all the wonderful things coming from it.
Yeah,
That's
A
great.
podcast.
a podcast.
Yeah.
And some other things too.
I was going somewhere with that though. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, we're super nice at Bible study.
Yes.
We do not prank
Yeah.
you whatsoever in
Yeah.
any capacity.
Or leave
Not
cups in the
at
living
all.
room.
Yeah, you guys don't put weird little acorns all over my house, and I have to find them, and and I can't reach them, so I have to get a broom and smack them down off the ledge and off of my light fixtures.
Yes, this was all a segue. What is your favorite prank that we have? So, to give some context, every week we prank Candace in a way that will minorly inconvenience her.
Like, nothing major.
Nothing major, no. Like last week, I erased one of the things on her schedule on her whiteboard. And she just thought she never put it there to begin with.
Yeah, so then I just put it right back up. I was like, oh, I must have forgotten. Pregnancy brain.
I was like, she's going to forget to take pictures on this day. And she was just like, okay, well, let's write it again.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I really did. I think I would have to say my favorite prank that you guys have done, that I also found very impressive, would be the spices. We split up in groups. Some go to the kitchen, some go to the dining room, and then some stay in the living room. And Chris's group happened to be in the kitchen, and he takes my spices and puts them in the freezer and the refrigerator. And I don't know, I'm particular. I have an order to my spices because I use some more than others. And so I need them in that same shelf order. And Chris totally ruined it. So I had to go in there, take my spices out of the freezer and refrigerator and put them back where I hope they were
And now they're
originally.
probably all caked up too because you put them in the freezer.
I don't think so. They weren't in there long.
Did he ruin your spices?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just checking.
No, they weren't in there long.
Yeah.
Now, you know what was in there long was the Polynesian sauce and the ice cube tray.
Yes. That one wasn't a prank. That one we actually experimented,
That was an
right?
experiment, yeah.
It didn't work.
Froze
I don't want to know.
It didn't
You make a
freeze. It was
popsicle?
just like jelly.
Yeah,
it was so gross.
It was so many weeks. It didn't work. It did
What's
not
the
work.
opposite of a shout out?
I don't know.
Denouncing?
Opposite? Denouncing?
I was gonna denounce Chick-fil-A, but I can't exactly do that for their sauce. Not for
You are dealing with a large portion of our demographic right there. You need to calm down.
I literally had Chick-fil-A last night for dinner.
Yeah, it's good.
But I'm not a Polynesian sauce person, so I was okay to waste that. I'm a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
All my Chick-fil-A sauce fans
You're a
out.
purist.
Me too.
That's way better.
Yes.
I remember one time I brought Chick-fil-A. I don't remember what the occasion was. I think it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, something like that, for our Friendsgiving. And Candace was pressed that there wasn't Chick-fil-A sauce. She was
Everyone
like,
else was too. It's just they didn't say anything.
you just
I
happened
just
to be
knew-
the pregnant lady
yeah.
who really wanted the Chick-fil-A
I
sauce.
really wanted the Chick-fil-A sauce. I was like, who? What?
I will never forget it henceforth.
Yeah.
Oh, I
He
mean,
will always know I like Chick-fil-A sauce.
yeah. I don't eat Polynesian anymore. It made me sick.
Can I say that the true animals of this world are the people who would take signature sauces from other restaurants and use them with another restaurant's
I've done
food?
that.
Like if you
Okay.
take Zach sauce and Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
chicken nuggets,
No,
you're
it doesn't-
really. I'm scared of you. Like
Doesn't taste right.
It doesn't taste right. I thought it would taste good, but then I was like,
yeah,
that
but
earth dipping Zaxby's in the Chick-fil-A sauces.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A sauces are all sweet. Zaxby sauces are all savory, so it just doesn't work.
it's one thing to try it. It's another to like just have that be a regular part of your day. Like, where are you storing your sauces at, and why are you taking the time to mix and match? Like,
Well, some people use ranch from Chick-fil-A.
I mean, ranch I think
use
is a
ranch for
little bit
Zaxby's.
more universal,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about like signature sauces.
Like in-house sauce. You know who has the best signature sauce? Raising Cane's.
Yes.
Honestly.
I've never been there, but
I
I
have.
actually
You have
heard
one
of
on
it last
ECU?
week.
Yes, we do have one on
Why
campus.
does NC State have one?
Because they're lame.
They have a
I don't like
campus.
NC State. NC
Yeah.
State can...
Their campus is so much.
I've already kind of denounced ECU once on a podcast. I'm not going to do it twice.
Bro, if I get disrespected 2 weeks in a row,
third tier college.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
I think we said
just
third
said they
or
weren't
fourth.
fourth.
Oh, fourth tier.
Oh my gosh. They had-
Athletically.
Fifth tier
So
academically.
ECU made a bowl game and LSU did not, and we were talking to an LSU fan, so like I don't even understand what the narrative is here other than to irritate me. Anyway, so
Do you
Raising
have an
Cane
opinion on
sauce.
I'm not a North Carolina anything fan. I'm
We'll
not
get
from
there.
here, so
We'll get there.
Yeah.
yeah.
We're working our way.
Sorry, I don't have an opinion.
So
for
cane
the
sauce, right? Raising Cane's has the best signature sauce. I eat there 3 times this week, which is way more than I should, but it's so good.
It is
I've
good.
never eaten there, but
to
someone
try it.
last week told me that it's the best restaurant.
As far as fast food chicken goes, is by far my favorite.
Really?
Yeah. It's better
Oh.
than Chick-fil-A. Like, by
100%.
far.
Oh, man.
Very far.
So for all of you Raising Cane's fans out there, that one's for you.
Yeah. And for all you Chick-fil-A fans, there's something better out there.
Yikes.
Just go look for it.
Yikes.
Like, stop just going there. You can go other restaurants.
But people don't go to Chick-fil-A just for the food. Like,
No,
they go for the
service.
experience.
That's good service. I mean, that's
Yeah.
always good service.
Raising Cane's has good service.
Like, I love on the Chick-fil-A app, I can put, for the extra details, I can put extra crispy. And they know to make my fries extra crispy. I mean, who takes the time to do that? Only Chick-fil-A.
Well, don't they always forget your pickles, though?
Well,
Ooh.
it's also how they do the pickles. I have learned, Chris.
Put it on the
So,
sandwich.
but I want to. So, just give us your pickle.
Okay,
thing at
so
Chick-fil-A.
this was before pregnancy. This is no reason. Like, I do love pickles, but I mean, it's just, it's just like even more during pregnancy. And so I will ask for extra pickle. But you know, in that extra pickle cup, it's like this tiny little cup, and they give you 2 little pickle slices. And I'm like, no, I need more of that. So then I had an insider who told me that that I could order a bowl of pickle, and I had to specify a bowl, not a side of pickle, not extra pickle. It had to be a bowl. And so now I ask for a bowl of pickle, and they give me like 20 little slices of pickles.
There you go.
And I totally eat them all.
Yeah, I can confirm that when you're making those pickle bowls, you just grab a handful and you're like, put them in the cup. Well, no, okay. Let me clarify. It's a gloved handful. Like, there's not someone just
I like that.
barehanding. There's
I
not
like
someone
that.
barehanding your pickles back there.
So, Candace, you mentioned this earlier, but you are not from North Carolina, right?
Right.
So you want to tell us a little bit more about
Yeah,
that? Where'd you grow up?
I am a Tennessee girl, East Tennessee to be exact. So I grew up in the Knoxville, Sevierville kind of touristy area, and yeah, it was good. It was great. I think like
Great
going
upbringing.
back now, I like miss it though, because you don't realize like how much like you had when you were growing up there. Like there was Dollywood, there was Pigeon Forge, there was even like the arcade places and indoor skydiving, like all of those places that were like within distance, and even Cades Cove, like the mountains. And it's something that I definitely miss, but it's like you don't know how much you'll miss it until you're away from it.
Yeah.
in the flat area of North Carolina.
So
They know where we are. We're animals.
Yeah. So you don't enjoy this town's rundown putt and bowling alley? Is that what you're
Whoa.
Are they actually? I know the bowling alley's open. Is the putt? Is that
No,
actually
there's no
open?
putt-putt,
Okay,
no.
it's like
It
across
used to
from
be
that
there.
sketchy.
There's a course. you can go out there with your own stuff.
It's been there since we've been there, but
Listen, Raleigh's a 30-minute drive. Greenville's a 30-minute drive. Like,
It's not the
There's stuff.
destination. It's the midpoint. I had a better word, but midpoint.
it's the
You can just go everywhere from here, but this is not the destination. I'll
Yeah.
say it that way.
But I do love in Wilson. Everything's like 10 minutes away.
True.
It's
You got
great.
Target and all that.
There's a game
Target.
store in
There's
town.
a cookout.
There is.
Shout out to White Dragon Games.
Yeah.
Well, Wilson's growing a lot.
Yes.
Like I don't know
We
how
talked about
much
this
it's
last
gonna
week.
grow, but
We did talk
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
yeah, no.
I mean, I wasn't saying that to say don't talk about it
No,
now.
no. I mean, I wasn't gonna go on another tangent. I'm just saying I just
Okay.
don't know what it's gonna become.
Nate loves Wilson.
Nate is a
I don't-
proud Wilsonian.
He's like,
I'm
hey,
not
guys,
even from
we're
here.
gonna be the next Raleigh. We're coming up. We're moving
know
up.
how
Look,
much
y'all
Nate
don't
loves
understand. I'm from Plymouth, North Carolina. We didn't have a Walmart. Our biggest store in town was a Rose's. So like, Walmart was 30 minutes away.
Never been inside Roses.
You're not
I
missing
haven't.
anything.
What is Rosen?
It's like if Walmart and Dollar Tree had a baby,
Oh,
and like
Is
that
that
baby was
Kmart?
put together with very cheap products.
so Kmart.
Essentially, yeah, it's like
A rundown Kmart.
A rundown
It's like-
Kmart. Ooh,
Ooh.
Kmart
it's
was
like
already
if
rough.
Kmart and Fred's Food Club had a baby.
There's no food in Rose's.
Yes, there is.
There isn't. There's not a grocery
There's
section.
not a grocery section, but there is food. in
Like
it.
if you had like Marshall's type food, like you're gonna get a bag of candy. Maybe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They have like the bulk.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't suggest going to Rose's. I wouldn't suggest
Plan to.
going to that part of Wilson anyway.
You don't like
What?
the mall? The
The theater.
The quote
we're
unquote
on
mall.
video, air quotes, mall.
Nice.
Yeah, also, if you're listening to the pod, this is the first episode that we have recorded, so you're also going to be able to watch this episode if you want to look at Austin and Nate stare at each other for 20 minutes.
The camera's really
Lean
just
into the
staring us
same-
down.
It is
Same
staring us
microphone.
down. It's got the side of Chris. It's got you in shot. You're in shot.
Cool.
And you can probably see me adjusting myself because I feel like I look terrible on camera. So
That's why I got out of the way.
That's why you wear a hat.
Yep.
yeah, they can't know I'm a ginger. It's too late.
Yeah, they're here. Now they know.
Okay.
I'm completely doxxed. Now you can narrow it down to the number of gingers in a 1 mile radius of something different. And you got me. Yeah.
There he is. Hey, it's that guy.
Are you the host of the Small World Podcast?
Joke's on y'all. I'm going to be, once we go public and go out to places, I'm going to be the only recognizable person.
True. Because he's a redhead.
Well, all right. So Tennessee.
Yes. Yeah.
Back on subject.
So you went to high school in Tennessee, middle
Yep.
school, high school in Tennessee.
Yep.
Did you
Born
go to
and
college in
raised.
Tennessee as well?
Yes, I did. I went to Carson Newman University. Yep, that's
I
where
learned
I
that on
graduated.
Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you teased me like, you have a degree?
You don't have to air it out like that, but sure.
Oh, don't let him sound like the victim getting picked on this thing. He picks on people all the time.
We're just dishing it back. True that way.
I just don't do it in a public forum, you know. The Bible says there's a time and a place for everything.
Oh,
This
there
is
it
the
is.
time and the place.
There it is.
Life is a public forum.
Ooh, you got me there. You got me on that one. That's an all-time quote.
Wow. Put
So
that on the
anyway,
page.
Carson Newman.
Yeah. Yep.
What's your degree in?
Yes, it is in. It's actually a double degree in art. So I have a degree in drawing and painting, and a degree in graphic design, as well as a minor in photography and art history. So
I didn't know about the art history.
yes,
minor. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Wow.
It was, I had an art history professor who was insistent that if you just go ahead, you need like one more class, you might as well pick up this minor, and then one day maybe I can teach on the college level.
Oh wow.
And yeah,
There
so
you
that'd
go.
be
That's
pretty
cool.
cool.
So how are you utilizing your voice crack? Wow. Reset.
Nope. That's
So
staying.
how are you utilizing your degree now?
Okay, so I actually work from home for a publication agency. I'm freelance with them, but I do other little things like currently I'm painting a portrait for a woman here in Wilson. She wanted a portrait of her husband and their dog who recently passed away. So just those like special, memorable things that you want to have hanging in your house. You
That's
know.
cool.
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
So you've also had some illustrations in some books, right?
Yes, yeah. So for the publication agency, I actually do the graphics for like their devotionals and their Sunday school material. So things like bulletins and yearly like devotionals, like for the women's ministry, for their quarterlies. Those are things that like I designed the cover for, and then I also lay out all of the material on the inside of the book. So I have a big hand of on the looks of things. So.
Do you want to say what the publication company is so people can go look it up? Or would you rather them not see what you do?
Maybe I don't want them to see what I do.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, that's good.
Because it's
We'll plug it in the show notes. Don't
yeah,
worry.
there you go. There you go. You're like gonna go take screenshots of
Yeah,
this. They're
exactly.
actually like the Christian bookstore like has like those available here, and then they also have the Christmas book that I illustrated a couple years ago with this publication agency. They tied me to a person who wrote a Christmas story, and so I illustrated like all of that with watercolor and
Oh, wow.
some ink and stuff. So yeah.
What's your favorite like art style?
Like my favorite medium, or
Yes.
I was going to
That's
throw
the
it
word.
out, but I was going to let Chris try first.
You know, for an English major, I'm not very good with words, but
Better than me.
better on paper. It's okay.
yes,
It's
better
okay.
on paper.
I would say definitely watercolor. Yeah, which is strange because if you were to ask me that like going into college, I would have been like, oh, acrylic, it's more forgiving. But I think through my college career, like I liked the challenge of things. Same with photography. Like I would pick film over a digital camera just to have like the challenge of you have one shot And the fact that you can capture something so perfect and beautiful in that one shot, you like it a lot more. Sorry, the beeping was
Yeah, what is the beep?
There's a watch somewhere in this room. I can't locate it, but
it's like the invisible cricket.
I think it's in one of those drawers.
It's so quiet, it won't pick up on there. But we hear it loud and clear. So we're a little
found the watch,
distracted.
guys.
You found it?
Are you sure you searched this room?
Yep, that's
Dude,
it.
he just found it in the
Do you want to turn this off?
That stops. It's just because it's on the hour.
It's just beeping.
Wow.
I don't worry
Here
I
we
thought it
were
was
having
somebody
a
out there. I was like,
Just break it.
here we were having a pleasant
okay.
conversation about watercolor, and we're interrupted by beep beep.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We're professionals.
First, Austin doesn't turn off his phone. Now Nate won't turn off his watch.
That was week 1.
Stay tuned to see what Chris is gonna do.
Right. It's okay.
It's gonna
I was
happen.
already late this week.
Yes, he was. Just see the frantic group text this morning. Wait a minute. Wait, you're not what?
I was so pressed in the group chat because I was like, somebody just sent him the location. I sent everyone else the location. Anyway,
Yeah. That was funny.
that was funny. Anyway, so watercoloring.
It sounds like you guys might need like a counseling.
We kind of do, honestly.
That's cool.
It's like,
That's why
you
we're
know,
doing this.
how Yoko Ono broke up the Beatles.
No.
Being responsible for sending out the messaging is
Oh.
breaking up the band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Oh man.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry about
Episode
that,
4.
guys.
Episode 4.
I mean, we've already made it further than probably 90% of podcasts that start.
We've
So,
made it
awesome.
further than 3 of the other people who have tried to use the name Small World.
record.
So, anyway,
Good job, guys.
dead air. We love it.
Yeah.
So I had a question, and that beeping completely threw
It did.
things
I
off.
like it stopped my whole like
train of
train of
thought.
thought. Yeah.
Watercolor.
It was meant to happen.
It was
Yeah.
predestined.
Nobody wanted
one
to hear
might
about
say.
watercolor.
So speaking of predestination, Candace.
Oh no way.
We already mentioned that we're in the same Bible study,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So obviously you are a believer.
I
You're a
am.
Christian. You want to tell us a little bit about your testimony, how you came to know Christ?
Yeah, sure. So I was born and raised in church. My dad actually, growing up, he was the youth pastor. And so that was meaning me plugged into church like all the time, going on those trips even as a kid. And it was just like really cool. But it was at Vacation Bible School in 2005. I remember the summer of. And that's when we were in the service and they did the call forward. And so that's when I went out and I said the prayer, did everything that most, kids do at Vacation Bible School. And then later that night when my dad picked me up from Vacation Bible School, the leaders told him like, hey, like Candace accepted Christ into her heart. And I can remember being like nervous, but I knew my dad was going to be excited. And so we get in the car and he sits down and he asks me, do you know what that means? And he did that with everything. If we were listening to Love 89, if we were listening to K-Love, like everything, he would be like, okay, this song, do you know what it means? And I love that he instilled that in me like young, because a lot of times I think parents don't have those kind of discussions with their kids. They're just like, okay, like good job, that happened. And then you just leave it. But he was like, okay, I want you to know what it means before you like just go and say that you are professing to be a believer. So I explained to him, I was like, yeah, like Dad, like I know that I need him in my life. I know that that's a missing piece that is there that needs to be in my heart. And I know, and of course, know that I explained this in a like 5th grade manner. I was going into like middle school or something. So it wasn't eloquent words or anything. But I told him, I was like, I feel so filled with joy. Like I felt like, I don't know, like when you fill up and you're just like, oh, this is enough. This is it. This is like the most incredible thing. And I can remember we were on our way home and the windows down, we had the sunroof. It was a Saturn. I don't know if you guys know what Saturns are.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Summer 2005.
Yes, summer 2005. And we're on this road, and I can remember we're turning, and he's like, well, I mean, like, if you feel like you're overflowing, like, just let it be known. Shout it out. And we roll down all the windows, and I'm just screaming and shouting, like, Jesus, he is my God. He is my Savior. He is my everything. And so I can remember just having that overwhelming feeling, you know. So clearly I come from an emotional family. But he encouraged that in me. And I can remember even following through with baptism. It wasn't until 2016, because again, that same question he posed, do you know what it means? Like, why are you going to do it? You need to understand before you just do it. Because I don't know if you know, but in the Baptist faith, they require, in order for you to be a member of the body and of the church, that you profess Jesus as Lord and Savior, and then that you are baptized. And so that was something I hadn't done yet. And I was like, honestly scared. And I can tell you why I was scared was I don't want to get dunked in a body of water in front of all these people. Like, that's so weird. So I was nervous. But by 2016, I was like, okay, this is definitely something I understand now, and I'm going to follow through with this. And it was actually my dad that went up there and he baptized me.
That's awesome.
At the church, that Kelly and I met at, actually. So
That's a good segue.
yeah.
So you've known Kelly a very long time, right?
I have.
When did y'all meet?
We met, well, it was kind of interesting. I think it was like summer of 2010. He says he saw me, but I didn't actually see him, but it was we had gone, there was like an event at the church. It was like a play, and we had gone, my family and I, because my aunt and uncle went to that church. And so we're going, and Kelly and his family had like the space that they always sit in, and he said he saw me, and I was like, oh, well, cool. I didn't see you, but that's cool.
So Kelly was just like awestruck, and you had no idea.
Yeah, exactly. He had his eyes on me immediately, but
singing the bathroom.
yeah, it was funny. I ended up, I met his uncle, his grandfather, and his mom before I even met him.
Wow.
Isn't that weird? Like, if that's not a God thing, like, I don't know what it is.
Kelly's in the background like,
No, I met his uncle at Burger King before a mission trip.
Oh, not like at the church? Oh,
Exactly. I met his mom. His mom was the pianist at my cousin's wedding. And then his grandfather showed me to my Sunday school room. So all of those things. And then I met Kelly. And my first thought was, this athletic guy is going to be like an airhead. And no offense. It's just like, there's like, no, I'm not. Because I can remember, I was like, I'm going to focus on God. I don't need a guy. Like, it'll be okay. Everything's fine. But for all the girls out there that know, you know, when guys aren't interested, you kind of say that, and it makes you feel a little better about yourself. Because anyway. All these guys are looking at me like, I don't get it.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. Trying to build up that girl audience for you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
There goes the demographics. Female.
That's the only reason you're here. No other purpose.
Okay, cool.
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
It's fine. But
We'll throw Chris off the podcast if you want us to.
What's a
can just-
podcast?
I don't know. I thought it would be weirder to go back and correct myself than to just roll with it.
Yeah, but you got caught anyway. Anyway.
yeah.
So, how old were you when you met Kelly?
I was 15.
Wow,
Yeah.
So you were in like 9th grade?
I was actually in 10th grade.
10th grade.
Yeah. It was like September of 10th grade is when he started talking to me. I had the other girls in the youth group. They were like, oh, Kelly's a good guy. You're a good girl. You guys should get together. I'm like, that's not how it should work.
As they do.
Exactly.
always how it
Exactly. And I was the new girl too. So I was just like, no, I'm okay. Thank you.
Respectfully, no.
Exactly.
You're saying it like you're declining like a dessert someone offered you.
That's just trying to be nice. But no, and then like some girls were like, hey, this guy wants your number. I'm like, no, like if a guy wants my number, he can have the courage to come up to me and ask for my number. So I guess I was a little headstrong on that.
Kelly did not have the courage.
No, other guys didn't. Kelly did. He was the only one. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. So he started messaging me, and he was like, what was it? He messaged me on Facebook. That's what it was. And
You always got to start slow.
yeah.
Get through the social media first, and then dive
And luckily,
in.
it was just like a couple months before that I had even created a Facebook. But he's
There you go.
it's just showing you like the age of everything.
Yeah, timeline.
Yeah. And so he messages me. He's like, "Hey, we missed you at church," and he was like, "Oh, so where you been?" And we start talking, and I was like, "Yeah, so I'm in these honors classes, and they're so tough." And his response, it was perfect. His response was, "Wow, more than a pretty face." Slick, right?
Kelly had the
I know.
moves.
I think
can
it's funny
remember.
though, like you're talking from the girl's perspective, from the guy's perspective. We're like, we know exactly what he was doing.
He did good. He did good. And then from that, he's like, "So can I get your number? Because it'd be easier to text you."
Oh, that was smooth.
Yeah, right. Come on, you did not need an excuse.
He's not slick.
So cute. So then we text, and I can remember asking him like weeks later, "So when are you gonna ask me out?" And yeah, I was like, "Yes, first boyfriend. This is amazing. He's a great guy. Gotta lock this down." So, so then he's like, "Well, I'm gonna do it in person. I'm not about to ask you out like on text. Like that's lame." So he goes and asks me out on a Wednesday night after we had eaten before service. So held my hands, and he was like, "Will you, Candace Montgomery, go out with me, Kelly Blake?"
Wow.
And you know what my response
so
was?
cheesy.
It was so bad. I was so nervous. I was like, "Yes, I, Kelly Blake, would love to go out with you, Candace Montgomery." And I was like, "No, I'm cooler than this. I can do it.
My biggest takeaway from this story is that your maiden name is Montgomery.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Like Alabama, exactly. Montgomery, Alabama. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Tennessee,
cool.
Alabama.
And y'all have been
That's
together ever since.
Yes. Yeah.
Got a baby on the way.
Got a baby on the way. Yep, we've been together, goodness, almost 12 years.
Wow.
Married almost 6 in May, and now having our first.
So you had a rule going into the marriage, right? About how y'all didn't want to have kids for a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
That's a funny story. I feel like that should be told.
I was very okay to wait as long as possible. Don't get me wrong, I love children, but no, I have 3 older sisters, and Kelly has older siblings, and so we have 11 nieces and nephews. Like, we were okay on the kid game. Like, we can wait. And there wasn't as much pressure from parents, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we waited, and we were like, yeah, we'll wait 3 years. And so then 3 years comes, and my mom is asking, like, okay, it's been 3 years. Like, why do you remember this? And then I was
She
like,
had a
well,
date
maybe.
set on the calendar.
She has like an alarm on her phone go off 3 years from now.
That's what the watch was.
Beep, beep. Just one more month. But no. But yeah, and then we were like, well, maybe like closer to 5. And so we just kind of pushed it back. But Kelly was very eager for all of that to have a kid. And I was like, I don't know. I like our freedom. You know, those movie date nights, sleeping in, all of that. But I know this is going to be a even more exciting chapter, so it's just going to be different.
Of waking up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Eventful.
Maybe I could use your watch alarm, because clearly it'll get my attention.
We're going to ask Kelly this question. Kelly's going to be on the pod for next week's episode. So we have some questions lined up for both of you to see how you answer for one another.
It's like the wedding game.
Yeah, something like that. So what has been your favorite part of marriage thus far?
Oh my goodness. That's hard.
That's a tough question.
That is.
Tough question.
Even like
I'm
just
not married,
6
so I
years.
wouldn't understand how hard it is. Go ahead.
This is like, it's easy. Favorite thing about marriage so far, I would have to say, there's so many. I'll say this one
You
because
can
it's
narrow it down to a few if you
okay.
can't
Okay,
decide.
good, because like that's too hard for me. For sure, like learning about each other. You think oh wow, we were together 6 years before we got married, we're gonna know so much. No, like you grow even more, like knowing each other through marriage. You see how annoying it is if someone squirts the toothpaste from the middle of the tube or the end of the tube. Or you see what their favorite things are, or love language. I love talking about love language and stuff, like the Love Tank and the 5 Love Languages book. But for me, it would definitely be just like learning even more about him, but even loving him even more through that. Even the hard times, like going through that together, I wouldn't wish any of it away, even though it was difficult, because we're stronger together from it. So I would say I like that.
All right, these questions are going to get tougher.
Oh gosh,
Are you
that
ready?
wasn't hard.
That's just question 1.
What is your favorite thing about Kelly?
Favorite thing about Kelly?
Yeah.
There's
not any.
No, I wasn't meaning it like that. I was trying to be like, okay, PG. So no,
Family friendly.
We've always been like, it just, the looks are a bonus. That's just a bonus. It's never supposed to be a factor in liking someone. It's just a bonus. So I'm just saying that.
I think you're allowed to say that you think your husband's attractive.
Yes, I
as
really
his
do.
wife. Yeah.
He's very handsome.
Yeah.
And the blue eyes, but I would have to say my favorite thing about him is his patience. He's a very patient person, and I'm not always very patient, but he's very patient and forgiving with me when I know, as I've stated, I'm emotional. I know that can get like, whoa sometimes, but he's always like, it's okay. I'm very chill and like easygoing. And I appreciate that in a person. And his respect. Oh, he's like, since day one, he has opened my door. I promise you. Like, people, when we first got to Wilson, they asked if I was pregnant because he opened my car door.
Oh.
And I was like, no, he does that because he's a respectful gentleman. So, yeah, he's a good guy. Good guy.
That's awesome.
My wife won't let me open her car door.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Not you the privilege.
All right, here's where the questions rank up. What's the right phrase there? It doesn't matter. What is your least favorite thing about Kelly?
Oh no.
Just keep in mind.
Wait a second.
Him these
You're gonna
questions.
ask him that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he'll get to hear this next week, and then you get
He'll
to hear
probably
his
like do
next
everything
week.
to not let me hear that one. No, I'm just kidding.
We're not going to
He's-
tell him about this either.
He's gonna be like,
No,
"Do
yeah,
you
he's
want
gonna
to
be
let?"
just caught off guard as you are.
Okay, that's good. Oh, okay, least favorite.
It doesn't have to be something super deep. I would kind of hope it wasn't.
for his sake, I'll do something.
His hairline.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh!
No, I feel so bad. He is so like self-conscious about that. He's every time like we'll look at old
no.
pictures and he's like,
He is
I'm
balding.
going bald. And I'm like, hey, no, like you have hair. Like it's okay.
It looks good. His
It
hair looks
does.
good.
It's
I'm
just pushing
messing
back.
with him.
It's not as bad as it
Kelly, we
could
love
be.
you.
I will say though, Kelly has the kind of head. If he ever did, it would be fine. Like
That's a very nice compliment.
it would be
Thank
fine.
you.
He'd be an attractive bald man. He would be.
You have a nice head shape to be bald.
He does.
He's gonna grow the goatee.
Oh, man.
Okay, then he'd look like. Well, no, Mr. Clean doesn't. Have
No,
a beard.
he actually struggles with growing beard hair.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel
I
bad.
feel
for him. It's
that.
more
I
of
do
like a
too.
Shaggy, like from Scooby Doo.
I
So
can help
like
him
a little
with that.
patchy.
There's, there's ways.
There's
Yeah.
ways.
I cheated.
Oh, well that
What?
sounds.
He
That
pulls
doesn't
off his
sound good.
beard like it's not real.
Yeah, I
pulls
cheated.
it off.
Like
Oh.
hard. Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about that after.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, least favorite thing.
Yeah, least favorite thing.
It would probably be he can be stubborn. So when he has his mind made up, like this is the way I'm gonna do it, you can't change it. Even if it's a better way or if it's an easier way or whatever, he's like, well, I already decided this is what I'm gonna do. And we saw firsthand, like he gets that from his dad. So maybe it's a man thing.
It probably
It
is.
probably
I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm stubborn. So,
It's like, yeah.
Alright, last question. What is something you want Kelly to hear when he listens to this episode?
Me and your daughter love you.
Aww.
That's been like the coolest thing, like to know that like, hey, we're about to have a child, but acknowledging her like she's gonna be here. Like that's so cool.
That is cool.
He's gonna be a daddy.
Her own person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it still seems unreal sometimes because she's not like here, but not yet. Like out. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So to wrap things up, we are introducing a new segment onto the podcast, and I forget who wrote it. Hold on, let me find out real quick. Someone provide some filler conversation.
Some filler conversation while you look for notes that we should have probably had before the show.
Listen, I had the notes pulled up.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
y'all need to get your stuff figured out before the next person gets
This
here.
is fun.
You mean your husband?
Exactly. And the next, yeah.
He just texted me and said he's on the way.
We'll
So
tell them to knock on the door.
The Book of Questions, written by Gregory Stock. He is a doctor of, I don't know what he's a doctor of, but he has a PhD. So he wrote this book called The Book of Questions, and I made a out-of-the-way trip to Barnes & Noble on Thursday to make sure to buy this book.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
You're amazing.
So every week to wrap up before we get things concluded, we are going to ask a question from the Book of Questions for all four of us to answer. Ooh. So today's question is number 19, and it says, if a crystal ball could tell you the truth about any one thing about yourself, life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know and why?
Ooh.
Why'd
I know
y'all
it's a
look at
very
me?
deep question. Well, you're the guest, so.
So I have to go first. Oh, I would think it would be really cool. I would think it'd be really cool to know the solution to my weaknesses. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
a
Does that make
good
sense?
one,
Because I know like how I can like let things get to me, like as an emotional person, or even just bother me. Because like mentally, like it can affect you, and spiritually, and so it's like I want to know how to like look past that and conquer that, because it's a lot easier said than done, you know.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, that sounds cool. That's the
That's a
first
good
thing that
answer.
came to my mind. I'm sorry.
it's a
I hope
good
that's
answer.
good. So
I think I got one.
Okay.
All right. So just looking forward, I can see anything about me in the future?
Any one thing about yourself, life, the future, or anything else?
I guess looking forward, I would want to know what I'm like as a 70-year-old. Like if my character traits stayed or if they faded.
Interesting.
Like I would want to
like
see
if you
that.
got better or worse. Or...
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, better or worse, but also like my attitude towards growing older. It's like you don't like. I always say like age is a number. You're not there until you think you're there.
Yeah, like it's mental. Yeah,
it's mental. Yeah, so I always wanted to see if I actually hold to that. So,
Nate, do you want to go?
I say see my career future, because there's a lot of question marks. Like I'm doing a lot of stuff right now, but like I mean nothing I'm doing is like set in stone stuff. So so it's very fluid, and just seeing all that. Like I mean I know what I want to do, but just seeing if my wants line up with what I'm actually gonna end up doing.
Y'all had very thought out answers. I was gonna say I wanted to know like the Mega Millions numbers.
oh,
No, not really. That was where my mind initially went.
Yeah.
But I would like to know if I make it as an author, because that's the biggest thing
yeah.
for me. Like that's my goal. That's my dream. That's what I want to do. I just want to know if I make it. So
how would that affect though? Like if you found out you didn't make it, would you just not try then?
I wouldn't stop. No. I would
Good.
just
Get after
live
it.
with the.
Well, I know I'm not gonna make it, but
No, I would probably pivot my creative ventures.
I have another
But here's
one.
go ahead.
oh, he gets two crystal balls?
Go ahead though, because this is for the end kind of thing.
I was gonna say, I mean, but maybe it's like you see in your lifetime, but your books end up being like famous, like once you're dead.
Bro, if I want to Van Gogh this thing, I'm gonna be so pressed. I want to see my book on that Barnes and Noble shelf.
That'd be cool.
It is going to be cool.
Okay. Kind of like the small.
Apparently he's
Speaking
seen the
of
crystal
business.
ball.
That's what I was gonna say. My seeing the future. I want to see if this actually goes somewhere.
How
That'd
this
be
goes.
Cool.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
You know what? Who's like the dream guest that we could have on the podcast?
Ouch.
Joe Biden.
We're gonna leave that where it lies. I was gonna say Barack Obama. I just feel like
That
he's
would
an
be cool.
interesting character.
That and it.
Why do
okay.
y'all go for presidents?
Okay. I was thinking about this the other day.
I was
If you
thinking
could
Obama.
interview somebody though, it would be a politician, and not, you have to tell them though, no politics.
Yeah.
I just want to know you, not your politics.
That's the whole thing about Small World. We want to know people's stories. We don't want to hear like the
Brand.
agenda they're pushing, the brand that they've created for themselves. We want to hear about you.
Exactly.
We want to hear about Candace
Yeah.
and Graceland.
Yeah.
There you go. And now
She hasn't had much to say this episode,
She
which
really
is a little
hasn't.
bit disappointing.
I'm sorry.
But she's already a
She'll do better
podcast
next
star, so-
time.
you can tell her when she grows up, you were in a podcast once.
She was.
That's so cool. That you will forever have documented the conversation you had about your daughter before she was born.
There you go.
Hope that's a
On
good
the internet forever.
Forever.
for everyone to hear.
Until Spotify gets taken down.
Yeah, true.
But-
True. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
All right. Well, this has been a very productive episode.
Yeah.
I think we had a great conversation. Is there any parting wisdom you would like to leave to the listeners?
I don't think so.
That's a good answer too. That's a good answer.
All right. There's lots of people look up to you that are listening.
Oh
but
no!
that's fine.
Well, you just like
Hey,
put me on the
hey,
spot with
I'm
it.
just
In the words of Drake, a wise man once said nothing at all. So
Yes.
There you
I'm
go.
saying
there's your wisdom.
There you go.
but no wisdom.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I would any wisdom I would say enjoy what you have when you have it and to the fullest,
There you
because you don't know when things change or are taken away.
Live in the present.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of the Small World Podcast, and we will be back next week with Candace's husband, Kelly.